What's happening, guys? This is Adi from Theros International, and I'm here to give my quick match reaction to the game this morning that we had. It was a 6:30 a.m. kickoff for Olympiacos this morning, DC time, as we squared off against Hellas Syrou in the Greek Cup. We have one more round of Greek Cup football before going on and making it to the knockouts. If we play Iraklis next, and if we beat Iraklis, we should go directly to the quarterfinals, which means we're one win away from getting ourselves to semifinal football and in a very good position to make it to yet another Greek Cup final to set us up for another potential double win this season. So, before we get started, of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. For those of you that are tuning in for the first time, if you like what you see, help us continue to grow the red and white community. Help us continue to find more and more red and white fans. So hit that like button, subscribe, helps us find more red and white fans via the algorithm in YouTube. You can also support us on Patreon. Theaters International thanks all of its current patrons. We love the support that you guys give us. We're appreciative of everything that you do. Everything that we get for this channel, we put right back into it. We do our best to stay up to date with the best stats, to try to give you guys the best analysis. We have the WhatsApp group also where you can speak with Olympiacos fans across the globe, even meet up with them if you're in Greece or if you're in other countries. It's a fantastic community that's been built, and you can check it out and join yourself. Just visit patreon.com/307 International. Now, let's start talking a little bit about the game. I'm not going to go too in detail for the players. Martial is going to be doing player ratings, so you should see those at the time of release of this. They should already be available, so you'll be able to see them on our YouTube channel. Martial's player ratings for the match against Hellas Syrou. In this reaction, I'm going to focus primarily on the match itself, a little bit about players here and there. But if you want a full analysis, breakdown of each player's performance, check out Martial's player ratings for this match. But let's talk about the game itself. As I mentioned before, Olympiacos played its cup game against Hellas Syrou. Now, the game started. It was about what you would expect when Olympiacos goes to play a second division side. Hellas Syrou was happy to park the bus, and at least in the beginning and in the first half, they didn't seem like they were going to bother us much at all. I mean, they barely crossed half field, barely got half of a chance against us. We, on the other side, prior to scoring our first goal, we hit the post twice. The first was with a Remy Cabella shot. He hits the ball kind of into the ground and it bounces. It gets a nice little bounce over, but it hits the top of the crossbar before going out. And then Roman Yaremchuk gets a shot from distance that also hits the post. So we end up hitting the post early twice before Yusuf Yazici ends up scoring to get us on the score sheet and get us one nothing up. It was great from him. Yusuf Yazici was looking pretty dangerous with some great deliveries all night, or sorry, I should say all morning, or all afternoon Greek time. It was morning for me, but Yusuf looked great against the second division side, but he looked like he was a tier above everybody on that field. He looked like he could do just about anything. A player that I still can't believe is not on the European list, but I digress. Yusuf Yazici gets the first goal, and we see out the rest of the first half 1-0. Feels like it's going to be a comfortable night. Even though we only had one goal to show for it, we had plenty of scoring opportunities that we missed, plenty of chances that we should have done better with. At halftime, we're thinking, all right, 1-0. It's a rotated side. We knew we had injuries. We had Chiquinho out. We had Daniel Podence out. We knew that there was no Muzakitis. So we knew that it was a rotated side and that we were going to have to make the most of what we with what we had available to us. So, and even our goalkeeper, we had no Paskalakis, no Tsolakis. So we had a third string goalkeeper. Then we had Botis, who has been playing some games for the B team. So all in all, at halftime, 1-0. Well, maybe you wish we would have played better. Maybe we wish we scored a couple of goals. Can't really complain too much with the result, at least at the time of the first half. So second half begins. And within a few minutes, we get a nice sequence of play, and Mehdi Taremi scores goal number 2 for us. So it puts us up 2-0. And at this point, we're feeling pretty good. I mean, and the ball came in actually from the ball was given to him by Yusuf Yazici and Mehdi Taremi. It was a nice cross, and Mehdi Taremi is able to put the ball in and get it past the goal line. So you have a nice goal from him. The goal from Mehdi Taremi gives him 10 goals now on the season, double-digit goals already for Olympiacos. That's his 3rd goal in the cup, and I believe he's got 6 in the Super League, plus the goal he scored against Real Madrid in the Champions League. So I had said in the scouting report on Mehdi Taremi, I expected him to get at least 15 goals as a super sub. We're already there at 10, and it's not even at the halfway point of the season yet. So nice for him to get on the score sheet. But then, kind of maybe you could say against the run of play, Hellas Syrou they don't equalize. They get a goal back. So 2-1 through the player. I believe his name was Bernardos. Um, he ends up scoring. There was there was a question at one point, one of the goals that Hellas Syrou scored. I can't remember now if it was the first or the second, where it looked like Kalogeropoulos might have hit it in. I'm looking back at it now, and he wasn't. It was initially credited as an own goal, and it was not when I went back and looked at it. But the defense just did not look great. The goalkeeping looked pretty shoddy as well on both of these situations. Fortunately, in the end, we were able to score enough to get past it. But after the Vernaldos gets that first goal, um, Yazici then comes around and gets another goal. So it's his 2nd goal of the night. It was a fantastic shot. The ball gets worked around from the right side, and then Remy Cabella ends up playing the ball about 5 meters next to him in the box after Yazici had started off the transition. He gets past the player, goes down on the right, ball gets worked in, and then Cabella plays it back to Yazici, and he just slots it home. So at that point, it's 3-1, and Yusuf Yazici has been involved in all 3 goals so far. So, I mean, most of the offense was thanks to Yazici, at least the things that led to some of the more tangible chances. So 2 goals and an assist from Yazici to that point with Olympiacos. The game goes on. We get some substitutions. Jose Luis Mendilibar ends up making a double sub. He takes off Mehdi Taremi and Costinha, and then he brings on Ruben Vezo and Danny Garcia. I guess we have to give them runs. I guess I would have loved to have maybe an academy or B team guy to throw on for this type of situation instead of having to watch Ruben Vezo and Danny Garcia, but I digress. Um, it was about 10 minutes after the sub, actually. That's when El Acido gets their 2nd goal. So at that point, it's 3-2. And then in the 80th minute, Mendilibar makes a triple sub. He brings on Strefezza, Rodinei, and El Kabi, bringing off Bruno and Yamaichi, Diogo Nascimento, and Remy Cabella. And then a few minutes after the substitutions happen, Roman Yaremchuk gets his goal to put us up 4-2. And then in extra time, Ayoub El Kabi gets his goal off of a cross from Rodinei. And El Kabi gets his goal for 5-2. That was El Kabi's 13th goal of the season. So amazing stuff from Ayoub El Kabi. He's scored in all 4 of his last 4 matches, 13 goals, 2 assists. So he's got 15 goal contributions this season. And at this pace, he could make it to another 30 goal contribution season. At this pace, he probably could also get, if he maintains his scoring form, he could get to another 30 goal season, which is utterly insane. Look, guys, all in all, um, I'm not I'm not panicking about any results here. If you looked in the Patreon group, there were people that were utterly losing their mind at one point when El Asiru gets their 2nd goal. The defense was not great. Kalogeropoulos looked a little bit shaky at times. It's going to happen. The guy hasn't played much at all, and he's playing next to Gustavo Mancha, who Gustavo Mancha at times looks suspect defensively. He's definitely a player that is not going to do a lot for us this season. He's probably a player that down the line will do better for us as he continues to grow into his role. He's got great distribution ability, but it feels like for this season, we probably needed a veteran presence, a better veteran presence for the Champions League. Maybe not a project center back. Maybe the veteran option wasn't available. The veteran options we wanted were not there for the taking, so we had to get a project piece. This is how we're going to make money, and we have to deal with the growing pains with that. I think long term, Gustavo Mancho will be fine, but this season, I can't see us relying on him for much outside of the occasional cup game or when injury calls. The midfield today was Diogo Nascimento and Lorenzo Scipioni. I know it was a cup game and things were a little bit disjointed, but I can't really decide how I felt about it. Scipione, at times it feels like this guy's gonna pull a yellow any second. He's a very talented player. He just really we need to find a way to get this kid to just chill sometimes because he's very lucky. I mean, Scipione probably could have ended up with a yellow card very early in this match when he collided with um what was the player's name? I'm already forgetting, but I mean, we're talking a few minutes in. Was it Giacos, I think? And he ended up leaving for a substitution. So Scipione has to be careful, and he's very young, so I know that'll come with time. He's a talented player. He can move the ball around very well, and the aggression you love to see. You just need him to be smarter. We don't want him getting yellow cards every other game. Um, we played with a two-striker system, with Roman Yarmchuk and Mehdi Taremi. I think the more we see our strikers play together, there's a couple of lessons that we've learned. You cannot play Ayub El-Kabi and Roman Yarmchuk together. But what you can play is Roman Yarmchuk with Mehdi Taremi. And what you can also play is Ayub El-Kabi with Mehdi Taremi. So I think this is what we're learning as we continue to go on. We can't ever play Ayub El-Kabi with Roman Yarmchuk. Mehdi Taremi is better because he can facilitate the ball and distribute the ball. Big lesson when it comes to talking about what we can do with our strikers. If we're looking at today as a sample of maybe things that we need to improve on as a team going into the window, I think we need to look at a left back. Bruno Nyamaichi might be a very capable, very physically gifted individual, an incredible athlete, but the technical ability just leaves so much to be desired. If it were my choice, I would love to bring in a new left back, a good left back, maybe even a Greek left back in January, as long as we're still in the Champions League. If we're not in the Champions League, we're not in the knockouts, then this team is more than enough to win the league and the cup and do another double. But otherwise, looking at today, not a whole lot else to say. It's never pretty, Mendilibar's football, we're used to it by now, but it can flow with the right personnel. If I'm going to be nitpicky, while we won 5-2, I'm going to be nitpicky about some of those substitutions. When I see Danny Garcia and Ruben Vezo on the substitution list, and I see that their numbers are coming in, and we're playing against Hellas Syrou, sorry, this is a wasted opportunity to me. You will never convince me in a match that either one of those two players have more value in a cup match than us playing an academy kid. I would always prefer to suffer the failures of an academy kid or somebody from the B team than to watch two old guys who have nothing left to offer this team continue to get minutes. That stance is never changing, and it will never change, not for me at least. So if I'm going to be nitpicky, that's what I'm getting nitpicky about. I also probably would have preferred not to play Ayub El-Kabi if we're being honest here, just simply because of the injury risk. We saw what happened last season when we played Ayub El-Kabi unnecessarily. We lost in Bodo. So if we're being nitpicky about a few things, those are the things I would be nitpicky about just because of the injury risk for El-Kabi and the fact that I don't see the reason why Danny Garcia needed to see the field and Ruben Vezo. Yes, I'm aware that we didn't bring any of the B team kids like Nebonidis and Liatsikoras because they had a game and they weren't on the team sheet. My point is they should have been on the team sheet, and I rather would have seen them play. I don't care if they had an important match for the B team because as far as I'm concerned, the B team games almost mean nothing. You can't get promoted. The B team's there for development. So I'd much rather anybody be playing for the first team when they get the chance than anywhere else. Anywho, wrapping this up, man of the match, coach's grade. My man of the match is going to go to Yusuf Yazici. I mean, he's the prime reason that we got ahead in the first place and the goals were moving and the offense was moving. 2 goals and an assist. It's almost impossible to give it to anybody else. So fantastic from him, and happy to see that he's continuing to do well. I hope that if we're still in Champions League, somebody makes the right decision and we add him to the European list at the break. The coach is great. You won 5-2 today. You had to make a lot of rotations. I didn't like some of the subs, but that was also because the people I wanted to see subbed weren't on the team sheet, so you had a relatively thin squad. What can you say? Defense was a little bit shaky, but you still won 5-2. I give Mendilibar an A-. So it's we'll just say A, 5-2. You won. It was easy. Couple of scary situations that were, really poor defending and goalkeeping. It is what it is. But I'll give Mendilibar an A. I'll stick to the A on that. So we move on. We have Ofi on the weekend, and we have a packed schedule coming up including Champions League, until the holidays. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Adi. This is Lidos International. By the fans, for the fans. Don't forget to check out Martial's player ratings as well. Take care, everyone.